Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. Continuing on with NFL Week 1, Titans, Bears in Chicago. Let's go.
Welcome to The Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
All right, like I said, Tennessee's on the road in Chicago for this one. Bears are favored at home, so Caleb Williams a favorite in his first NFL game. Looks like they're laying 4 points. I also see 3.5s, and I even see an expensive 4.5 out there if you wanted to take a juiced up Titans plus 4.5. Total sitting at 44.5 or 45.5, depending on your sports book. So let's go ahead and get into this one. We got new coaches all over the place, but we'll start on the Bears side. Kiss of death for Eberflus, 2 new coordinators. Shane Waldron takes over the offense. But first, I want to talk about the Bears defense. Eric Washington takes over as defensive coordinator, but it's been reported that Eberflus is still going to call the defensive plays for the Bears this season at least. And the reason that's important, he ran a lot of zone coverage last year. 64% of the Bears' defensive snaps in pass coverage were in zone coverage, 8th most in the NFL. That's a bad start here because Will Levis, excellent throwing the ball on zone coverage. I mean, yes, he still turned the ball over. Turnover-worthy play rate pretty bad against man and zone. But look at yards per attempt. Look at EPA. 4th best amongst qualified quarterbacks in yards per attempt. 2nd in EPA against zone coverage. Look at his numbers against man coverage. So not a great start here. Now, is it possible that Eberflus comes out and runs some man coverage here? Of course. But based on what we saw last year, he definitely ran a lot more zone than man. Moving right along, what else did we see from the Bears defense last year? Lack of a pass rush. Dead last in adjusted sack rate, 26th in pressure rate, 21st in blitz rate. Now, they did get a little bit better as the year progressed, and we'll get into that in a second. But as a whole, Chicago, not a good pass rush. One of the least effective pass rushes in the NFL last year. Look at Will Levis' splits here. When pressured, he's terrible. 28th in pressure to sack rate, 29th in yards per pass attempt, 28th in passer rating when pressured. When you give Will Levis a clean pocket, he's actually got some some decent looking numbers. Again, turnover is still a problem here, but 8.3 yards per pass attempt, that's 8th best in the NFL amongst qualified quarterbacks, 99.4 passer rating. So you give Will Levis a clean pocket, you sit back in zone coverage, Will Levis can carve you up, or at least that's what he showed us last year. Another thing to take note of on this graphic, top right, blitz rate, 21st in the NFL, 22.2% for the Bears last year. They just reported, like I said, Eberflus is still calling the defensive plays for Chicago. So I would imagine we see similar blitz rate this year. The reason I'm bringing that up, look at Will Levis splits when blitzed and when not blitzed. Night and day. It's one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL last year when blitzed. When not blitzed, he's actually 1st in the NFL in big-time throw percentage, 7th in yards per pass attempt. So, again, you give Will Levis time in the pocket, sit back in zone coverage. Based on what we saw last year, he cooks you. Now, let's be fair to the Bears defense. When they added Sweat, second half of the season, no question the pass rush improved. But they were still only 25th in pressure rate, so it's not like they became this dynamic pass rush when they added Sweat. They got a little bit better, but it still wasn't great. They were 12th in plays affected by the pass rush, but as a whole, just 25th in pressure rate even after the roster change. That is such an important aspect of this game. I mean, look at the Tennessee offensive line versus Chicago defensive line metrics here. Bears, 31st in pass rush grade, 32nd in adjusted sack rate. We already mentioned that. Look at the Tennessee offensive line numbers. 24th in pass blocking grade, 31st in adjusted sack rate. That was one of the weaknesses of the Titans' offense last year, is protecting Will Levis. But is the Titans' offensive line about to take a big step forward in that department? Remember, Brian Callahan takes over as head coach. His dad is an offensive line guy. And look, it's week 1. But in the past, we've seen teams take dramatic steps forward in this first year when he joins a team. Here's the chart here. On the left side of this graphic, these are teams' offensive line metrics the year before Callahan got there. On the right side, that's the first year after. Look at the adjusted sack rate. No question, on average, these teams are seeing improvements in pass protection the first year Callahan gets there. And to take it a step further, the Titans upgraded their offensive line kind of in a major way here. Lloyd Cushenberry comes in to play center. Last year, they had Aaron Brewer playing center. He led the NFL in sacks allowed from the center position. They bring in Lloyd Cushenberry, who was top 3 or 4, I believe, rated center in the league last year in terms of pass protection. So huge upgrade at center. Also, J.C. Latham, 7th overall pick in the NFL draft. Peter Skoronski was playing left tackle last year. They shift him in to play left guard. This Titans offensive line is not only better, but they brought in a coach that should make it better as well. They also added some weapons to that offense. Calvin Ridley's there now. Tyler Boyd. Treylon Burks is finally healthy, and he's listed as wide receiver 4. Tony Pollard's there now. And what I like about Tony Pollard on this team, both him and Spears have shown us that they can be very successful as a split back, splitting carry. So, in my opinion, you got 2 of the most effective RB2s splitting carries. I kind of like that. Well, I shouldn't call Tony Pollard an RB2. That was kind of crazy. But what I'm saying is, Tony Pollard, there were some issues with his durability and his stamina as far as taking RB1 carries. Well, now with him and Spears, they could both just be weapons that see about 25 to 30 snaps a game. Look, by no means am I saying the Titans are going to run the ball on the Bears. We can poke holes in the Bears' pass rush, but I'm not going to criticize the run defense too heavily because it was really good last year. They were 3rd in the NFL, allowing just 3.8 yards per carry, 7th in run defense EPA, 4th in run defense DVOA. So this is a very good run defense last year. I will say, though, kind of fell off there at the end of the season. I mean, look at the game logs here. Look at yards per carry and rushing success rate allowed. The Bears were getting run on at the end of the season. In fact, 5 of their last 6 games, they got run on. Detroit ran all over them twice. Minnesota, 4.3 yards per carry. Cardinals, 4.7 yards per carry. Packers, 4.6 yards per carry. So this Bears run defense was elite last year overall, but 5 of the last 6 games didn't look very good. And the Titans' overall offensive metrics don't look that bad. I mean, 4.2 yards per carry as a team, 14th in the NFL, 13th in rushing DVOA, 13th in rushing EPA, 18th in rushing DVOA. I will say, though, much worse on the road. Look at the Titans' rushing numbers on the road last year. Now, whether this translates year to year, 3.8 yards per carry running the ball on the road, just 23rd in the NFL, 28th in EPA, 29th in DVOA, running the ball on the road. So, look, again, I'm not saying the Titans are going to run the ball on the Bears, but between Pollard and Spears, I think they'll make some plays. So, overall, on this side of the football, I like the matchup for the Titans' offense. I think they're going to come into Chicago and score points on the Bears here. But now we switch it over to the other side, and, I mean, who knows? This is just, let's call it the coin flip matchup over here. First of all, we got the Bears offense. Obviously, Caleb Williams is there now. New weapons, too, with Dunze, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift. There's a new OC calling the plays. I mean, who knows what to expect from the Bears offense, especially in week 1. And here's the thing. On the other side, you could say the same thing about the Titans defense. Look at all these new pieces. They drafted Sweat from Texas. Joseph Day is there. He's been with the Chargers the last few years. 2 new linebackers in the middle. They have 2 new inside linebackers. Look at their secondary. It's completely new. They bring in Snead from the Chiefs, arguably the best corner in football right now. Cheeto on the other side, so they got 2 good corners now. Condre Diggs from the Seahawks. I mean, he's a veteran, but solid safety. So the Titans defense looks completely different as well. Not to mention Mike Vrabel's gone, and he's kind of been in charge of the Titans defense. So coin flips on both sides here. I don't know what to expect from the Bears offense, and I don't really know what to expect from the Titans defense either. The only thing I will say here, because I'm not just going to ramble about nothing. I mean, I really don't know what's going to happen on this side. I mean, the Bears could put up 40 points. They also could be held to 10 points. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I will say I'm a little surprised that we didn't see the Bears address their offensive line a little more. I mean, this was not a good offensive line, specifically protecting Justin Fields last year. You don't want your rookie running for his life. You don't want to see Caleb Williams get crushed and lead the league in sacks taken. I'm a little worried about that. And the Titans defense was 5th in adjusted sack rate last year, 12th in adjusted line yards, so this wasn't a bad defensive line. I mean, look, like I said, I don't know what to expect from the Titans defense, so I don't want to make any just BS predictions here. But I am a little worried about the Bears' offensive line. So as far as that side of the football goes, who knows what we can expect to see. I mean, maybe week 2 or 3 we could start trying to make some predictions on this side. But in this first week, 2 questionable units, I don't know. But I do think the Titans' offense is in good shape here, and I think the Titans are going to score some points. So what am I betting in this game? Well, I took Tennessee. I'm holding Titans plus 3.5. got the worst of the number. It was sitting at 4.5 forever. I didn't take it. It dropped to 3.5, and I got scared that it was going to hit 3. So I bet Titans at plus 3.5. So I got the absolute worst of the number. Still, getting more than a field goal, I think it's the right side. I think the Titans are going to score points. I also like the Titans team total over 20.5. And you can currently get that at minus 102 on DraftKings. I like the Titans to be able to move the ball here. So I'm on Tennessee to cover the number. I like Tennessee to score points. I forgot to add something at the end, these two trends, so I just want to include these real quick. First overall picks in their first start, usually a fade. In the last 18 quarterbacks since the merger to be taken first overall, if they start week 1, 3-14-1. Straight up 5-12-1 against the spread. I do admit that this situation's a little different because the Bears kind of built their situation to win now, so it might not be completely applicable, but certainly fading the number 1 overall pick in week 1 if they're the starter is profitable, no question. And look at some of the stats. The last 9 first overall picks to start in week 1, 52.6% completions, touchdown to interception ratio 1.3 to 2.1, an average passer rating of 63.1. And some of those names were premier quarterbacks. Andrew Luck, super prospects. So yeah, that just to add more, these trends aren't really the reason that I'm on Tennessee, but thought it was worth adding. If you want to see all the bets I currently have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click on Open Bets. You can see all the bets I have open as well as everyone on the staff here. Also, if you sign up for Sauce Network Plus, you get access to the Discord, and you can participate in the weekly betting league, which is right here. New league every single week, $150, and this handicapping trophy goes to the winner every single week. You need to have your picks submitted before the Thursday night game kicks off if you want to get in on week 1. If you miss week 1, you can get in on week 2. So yeah, head over to KyleKirms.com and sign up if you're interested in that. Live shows, Saturday morning college football show, 10 a.m. Eastern time up to kickoff. Sunday morning NFL show, 11 a.m. up to kickoff. If you're able to make it, I'd love to see you in the comments. Let's have ourselves a nice NFL week 1. It's a long season. Let's not go crazy. Bet responsibly. Talk to you in the Discord.